How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Gundam card game video here on Red Zone Rogue. It has been a little while, in fact, 2 months, and in that time, a lot of stuff has happened. I was in the hospital for several weeks undergoing, pretty intense, throat surgery. Don't worry, I'm okay now. And a bunch of other stuff. Shoutcasted Grand Archive Worlds, was a guest at Anime Expo, and we'll talk about Anime Expo because that's really relevant to today's discussion about Gundam. So we're getting back into the swing of it with Gundam. The first set has kind of half launched at the time of this recording, in that we have the starter decks, but the booster set doesn't come out for a few days at least. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about availability issues. We're going to mention a little bit about scalping. We're going to talk about AX. We're going to talk about my plans for Gundam card game moving forward, as well as just content and some cool stuff that they've shown recently, including LR pluses and these alternate rares, and some stuff. Gundam 00 is getting an official starter deck, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So without further ado, let's actually move on to today's sponsor. And so let's go ahead and jump into the overlay, because today's sponsor is me. Hey, look, on the official Red Zone Rogue website, www.redzonerogue.com, we are doing our 2025 Mega Merch Drop. And as you can see here, we have a mecha-themed piece of artwork. You can see it here. We call it Codename Villain. That is our original character, Asami Reika, and she's the counterpart to the first mecha-inspired splash art. So if you want to know more about the drop, you just go to the website, you just click here, and it'll tell you, we have a bunch of bundles. I'm not going to go over them all here, but there's a 2 Playmat bundle, Playmat and pin bundle. There's a mega bundle, where if you buy one of everything except for the pin, you get a big $25 discount. But the big thing that I think you will be interested in is our new splash art and playmat. Here it is in all of its glory. Art by Pinakas, the artist that did the previous one. So it's kind of like a companion piece, and it's, well, chef's kiss. He did an absolutely fantastic job. So yes, we also have this is up for pre-order, by the way. Estimated delivery in mid to late August, and we also have Dragon Shield sleeves as well. Dragon Shield is a sponsor of the channel. We do have promo codes with Dragon Shield on their website. If you want to use our promo code Rogue5 to get 5% off. That's a ad in the ad, but I'm really proud of this. I think it turned out fantastic. I can't wait for the playmats to come in. It looks absolutely incredible. We have sold a bunch of them already, so if you want to get on it, get on it. We will reprint them, but it takes time to do so. So we have a lot of news to go over. Some great places to do so are on the official Gundam X account, as well as the official Gundam website. Let's go over some cool stuff first before I start complaining about availability, because we are going to be complaining about availability, and I'm sympathizing with a lot of people out there. The TLDR, by the way, is yes, we're going to be doing Gundam content. I really love the game. I really love Gundam. It's been a huge part of my life for forever, since I was a very young kid. And we have product coming. We'll talk about that in a second, but we have been seeing some awesome LR Plus artwork. So this is alternate art. This is my favorite, Duo Maxwell. He's awesome. We also have the Death Scythe. Oh, this is my big chase card of the set, the LR Plus Death Scythe. And we also have some other Big Zam. We got Big Zam. We have a Char's Gelgoog. I love that name, Gelgoog. We have Witch and Bride. This is absolutely adorable. Super cute. We have... This is Ferrict, the Gundam Ferrict. I'm not super familiar with this one, but it looks really cool. This one also looks very cool, Gundam Aerial. So as you can see, they're doing some stuff to kind of oh, and here's a little bit of the foiling. This is the LR++. So the LR++s are extra hard to get. This one looks really, really good. We also have the RX-78-2 Gundam here, LR++. looks really, really cool. Obviously, these are the pinnacle chase of the first set. And then here we have the announcement of Gundam 00. This is going to be in a starter deck 7. I'm not gonna. Well, I can play this and we can mute it. We can mute it so we don't get content ID matched. But yeah, it is Gundam 00. I know there's a lot of 00 fans out there. It's one of the ones that I have not watched, but it's on my list because everyone keeps telling me how good it is. But yeah, and this comment here is something we're gonna address. What's the point of announcing something when you can barely get anything in stock? Yeah, that's gonna be something we'll talk about right after this. It probably has a lot more gravitas if you can actually hear the. We're just gonna kind of skip ahead actually. Oh, Gundam Exia 00. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to something that we can kind of have in the background as we discuss some availability. So, this is the Heroic Beginning Starter Deck, Starter Deck 1. There are 4 Starter Decks if you haven't been paying attention and keeping up with everything. And so, from my side, if you're like, hey, are you going to be doing more Gundam content? Once again, the TLDR, yes. However, I reached out to my typical sponsors, the folks who sponsor my Grand Archive content and the Shadowverse Evolve content, separate from me being an ambassador. I do literally buy all my product from my LGS. And I was like, hey, are you guys going to be carrying Gundam? And most of them were like, yeah. And then I was like, awesome. Do you want to do some sponsored Gundam content? I'm really looking forward to the game, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, I don't know if we're getting any. And I'm like, okay, that sucks. Reach out to some other stores, because in the position that I'm in, just being like involved in the TCG industry, I know a lot of people who own stores. Reach out to some stores. Hey, are you going to be having some Gundam product? You know, I would like to pre-order some starter decks and some booster boxes, hopefully at MSRP. And almost everyone that I talked to was like, we either ordered a bunch and got severely allocated, or we have no idea, or we're getting nothing. Not a single store that I reached out to, at least in my area, was like, we got plenty. However, I know some stores are, before you start typing down there, I know some stores are getting a lot of product. And I do want to mention that one of our longtime viewers and supporters who owns an LGS, he reached out to me after he saw me like lament about this. And he was like, hey, we're actually going to be getting a lot of product and we'd like to sponsor you. And I was like, oh, thank you. thank you so much. And so, yes, we do have some starter decks coming. Likely we'll have them later this week to do an opening and full review of them so you can hear all my thoughts. I'll probably put them all in one video instead of separating into 4 videos. And I will have a Gundam Assemble opening as well a little bit later, as well as a booster box opening. So we have all the regular stuff coming, as well as I'm going to be hopefully doing some gameplay, hopefully doing some like deck techs and that kind of stuff. And if you would like a full set review, I don't know how useful that'll be. If you'd like to hear my opinions on a full set review, let me know. But the whole set has been spoiled, and so there's a little bit of difficulty in getting product. Let me just put it that way. And it's not just me; it's a lot of folks out there. When I went to Anime Expo, they had some product to purchase. They had some product to purchase, I mean, they basically didn't have any product to purchase because everything was sold out before the doors even opened, because the line was so long that everything was gone. We had people buy multiple times when they weren't allowed to. Just a lot of scalping and a lot of just like not good stuff in general. And I don't know if it's because Bandai grossly underestimated the demand for this game in the West, or if it's because of manufactured scarcity, or if it's because of both. But either way, it was awful. Even someone like me who had like an exhibitor badge, because I was there as an exhibitor on part of Bushiroad, I'll have a whole full video going over, I couldn't get anything. I could have maybe abused my badge and get in there before hours, because I was able to get into the hall before hours, but I was like, I'm not doing that. First of all, I'm not doing that. That's not who I am. And second of all, I ain't got time for that. And so what it boils down to is now you're seeing some stuff pop up on the secondary market. for a lot more expensive than MSRP, right? Starter decks are $12. MSRP, they are $11.99. And if you see them at a store selling it for 20 or 30 bucks, I wouldn't recommend buying it unless you are desperate. And then booster boxes currently are pre-ordering for $200. And I'm not the kind of person to either fight scalpers or pay scalpers. So at those prices, I was probably just going to be like, I'm waiting, right? I'm not paying like $200 a box. Ooh, the camera, I have like, the hand signal is actually a signal to do the robotic gimbal. Anyway, I do have a futuristic webcam that has a robotic gimbal that follows my face if I do hand signals. I turn it off, but it always turns back on. Anyway, my point is that I greatly sympathize for folks out there who are trying to get product at a reasonable price, and it seems really, really hard. And I know a lot of people, I don't know if you're watching this far in or 11 minutes in, but they're like, yeah, this is typical for Bandai. I typically don't cover Bandai games. Mostly because I'm usually just not that interested in them. They're all like IP-based games except for Battle Spirits, and I have done some videos on Battle Spirits before. But I'm generally just not into IP-based stuff unless it is an IP that I really like. And hey, look, I really like Gundam. If it wasn't Gundam specifically, I'd be out. So I love Gundam. I want to support this game. I want to make content about this game. But I foresee it being difficult. I think Gundam will be the most... I think it actually might be more scalped than not Runeterra, Riftbound this year. Because after talking to the same stores, a couple of those stores were like, yeah, we got you on Riftbound. So I'll be doing some Riftbound content. I'm not completely sold on Riftbound, but a good friend of mine kind of sold me on it, on like the gameplay and the mechanics. So I think Gundam, at least initially, is going to be harder to get than Riftbound, which is saying a lot. And I know a lot of people in the community, in the Rogues Gallery Discord, are like, I'm not even going to go in, I'm not even going to touch Gundam because of the availability issues right now. And that's fair. That's completely fair. Once again, fortunately for me, I do have an awesome sponsor that is going to be sponsoring stuff. And I will put a link, by the way, in the comment section or in the description down below to his store. In fact, let me go ahead and pull that up. And so here is his store, Fantastic Realms. They are located in the United States. I do believe they are out of Alaska. They typically carry games like Flesh and Blood, Lorcana, Magic, Sorcery, Vice Schwartz, as well as they're going to be doing Gundam. So keep an eye out on this store if you'd like to purchase some Gundam in the future. They are going to be our official Gundam sponsor going forward. And the store owner has been a longtime supporter of Red Zone Rogue, and I've seen him at various events and all that kind of stuff. He's a good dude. So anyway, circling back to this, the TLDR is Gundam. I really want to cover, and I plan on covering it, but it is going to be the most difficult game for me to cover just because of these availability issues. I'm fortunate in that I have connections in the industry and I can find product at a good price because I know people, but I really feel for a lot of other folks out there who don't have these. If you live in an area where you can get the product at a good price, hey, that's awesome for you. But I don't think that's true for most people out there, especially for most people who either the LGSs just didn't get any products, you have to buy online, or if the LGSs themselves are charging outlandish prices. So from what I hear, this is par for the course for Bandai. Once again, I don't typically cover Bandai stuff. I'm aware of what's happened before. I was interested in Digimon when it first came out. Same thing happened for that. So I got my fingers crossed that they realize that, like, it's not intentional, and then they realize that, hey, look, there's a large demand. Here's a second wave. We have more product for set 2. We have more product for all of the, starter decks 5, 6, and 7. Because I really want Gundam to succeed. I really like Gundam. And I think it has the potential to be very good. My hot take is that, everyone's like super, like, the biggest Bandai game right now is One Piece. I think Gundam's better than One Piece, man. Partially, maybe it's just because I'm biased and I love Gundam, but gameplay-wise, I also think it's just really fun. So, fingers crossed for Gundam. The video is getting long enough as it is. So, those are my plans. So, I will be doing a starter deck opening and review of all 4 starter decks. I will be doing an opening of the Gundam Assemble. I will be doing some booster box openings, and then hopefully the regular cadence of product or videos We have gameplay videos, deck techs, and news, like more news type stuff. Basically all the things that I do for my 3 main games, which are Shadowverse, Grand Archive, and now Gundam. I want Gundam to be in with my 3 main games. So once again, fingers crossed. I can tell you what is not gonna be, you know, understocked is, hey, look, our playmat. We're bringing it back to the playmat. We ordered a good number of these for the first print run. This one sold out 3 times, and I had to reorder it 3 times. But I don't believe in FOMO, and so I want to keep restocking our products if it's reasonable to do so, if there's enough demand, and if I see stuff like this sell out very well, then hey, I will restock it. Usually it's a smaller order of a restock, but still. So we have a couple of these ones left in stock, though the sleeves are sold out for these ones. So yes, if you would like to support, get a beautiful playmat, hey, check it out. Once again, artist is Pinakis. He's an artist that does mecha stuff, everything from like model kits to he's done stuff for like Azure Lane, Grand Archive. A lot of viewers out there might know him from Grand Archive, and a lot of other awesome stuff. He's one of my favorite artists. Working with him is a great honor. So big shout out to you, Pinakis, if you're watching this. This looks so good. And look at this. Look at the subtle. Like, can you see the mouse on here? Yeah, you can see the mouse. So look at this. Look at the RZR right there. Didn't even have to put the logo. Didn't even have to put the logo on the playmat. He worked it into the design. So good. So, yep, that's my plans for Gundam. Let me know if you want to see me do a full spoiler recap. By that I mean like a full set review. So the full set review is out. I think the Unicorn Gundam Destroy mode is actually pretty sweet, by the way. But if you don't, that's fine. We're going to be doing a full, like I said, opening and review of all the starter decks, as well as my opinions of the starter decks. Yeah, if you can get them at $12, if you can get them at $15, hey, go for it. If the stores, if your LGS is like selling them for 15 instead of 12, I'd still go for it. If they're selling them for 25, I don't know about that. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for the support on the Gundam card game content. I'm really excited for this game. Once again, I'm looking forward to doing more content, looking forward to do well. I just want people to be able to get them at reasonable prices. It's a big mass market game by Bandai. It's not an small indie game. These problems shouldn't exist unless they're manufactured. So, I don't know. We'll see how things go. Maybe it was just like they're being really tempered with their Western expectations, but we'll see. Oh, I do want to mention one other thing that before we go. So for the folks at the end, if you didn't know, they did recently announce the language policies. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah. The language policies. This is actually very important. So if you didn't hear about this, the TLDR is we have 3 different languages that Gundam is launching in: Japanese, English, and Simplified Chinese. And essentially, these are the regions you can use them. So Japanese region, you can use the Japanese cards in these regions. English is basically just, North America and Europe, right? And like, Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Singapore, areas that also speak English, right? And then Simplified Chinese is literally only in mainland China. However, the biggest thing I want to note is this. Resources and tokens, including unit tokens, EX spaces, and EX resources, there are no regional restrictions, and any language card can be used in any region. So if you have foil Japanese resources, foil Japanese tokens, you can use them at official events. And so this made me, it made me so happy because I actually, a couple months ago, I went and bought a full set of Japanese beta foil beta token, or foil beta resources, because they were super cheap. They were like $80 for a full set. And for the English version, triple, quadruple, quintuple that price. And I was like, I'll just use these in my spare time, not a sanctioned stuff. And for videos, it'll look nice. Turns out they're officially legal. So if you're watching this and things haven't started to increase on those side of stuff, like the Japanese versions of the foil stuff and the extra promos. You should probably get on it. I also, when this was announced, I ordered Relina EX resource promo as well, Japanese, for $20. So hopefully you can find them. The last time I looked, like yesterday, they were $30 on eBay. The Relina EX resources, but Japanese. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So that's we're gonna end off on that. I do think this is cool. Even though I was complained a lot about availability, I think this is cool. I really like this. So, yeah. Hey man, once again, I just want Gundam to succeed. I want everyone to be able to play Gundam. The goal of the channel, the goal of Red Zone Rogue, is I want people to play the games that I enjoy and that I think are worthy of your time. That's the goal. And so this kind of stuff is antithesis to the goal, right? Like, the availability is a genuine concern of mine. So fingers crossed, hopefully things get a little bit better. And thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna end the video now. It is really hot. I'm starting to sweat, even with the AC pumping. I really appreciate your time. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Have you been able to get starter decks at reasonable prices? Did you pre-order booster boxes, a case maybe? Let me know in the comment section down below. And see you later.